Hello, this is Bobby for Fuentes Resports, and the topic that I wanted to cover was the 2018 the 2018 roster for TSM. So, that roster consists of Sven, an EU 80 carry, Mithy, another EU support, Bjergsen, he's also from EU, but since he acquired his visa in North America for the past few years, he is considered an NA resident. Their jungler, Mike Young, and their top laner, Hanser, both who are North American born players. And so the reason I wanted to bring this up was because TSM has lost their North American meaning. Now, I know most of you are thinking, what is this guy talking about? They've been in the LCS, they've been in competitive League of Legends since day one. Yeah, I realize that. But they lost their North American meaning because I like to view them as half EU, half North American. You might ask, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you have Hanser and Mike Young, both North American residents. So we can rule them out. We don't need to talk about them. And then we also have Mithy and Sven, both EU. So that's two. 2 and 2. Who's the last one? Bjergsen. I consider Bjergsen half North American and half EU. And what I mean by that is Bjergsen has lived in NA for quite some time. The whole time that he's been with TSM, of course. And when Bjergsen first came in, my reaction to that was it wasn't too bad because TSM still had four North Americans on their team, and then just Bjergsen, another EU. Most people use their import slots on Koreans because Korea is currently the dominant league right now, and they have been for the past years. And regardless, still import slots. Um, and what I mean by Bjergsen being half EU, half NA, he's been in NA for quite some time. The whole time he's been on TSM, which in 2018 would be his third or fourth year. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't been keeping up with the league since then. Although I do know he's been in North American for a long time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Also, so with that being said, Bjergsen, he's accustomed to North America. In my eyes, he is American, of course. He has his visa and everything. He has his American citizenship. So I do like to consider him North American. Not fully, because he was born in EU. He was brought up to League of Legends by EU. But now, I consider him to be half of a North American slot because he has accustomed here in North America. He has been playing League of Legends for a long time in North America. Meaning that EU, the EU server, in a sense, raised Bjergsen. It was the mother and the father. And now Bjergsen has a not new set of parents, but a new surrounding, and he's accustomed to North American, to a North American culture. And you can see in a lot of old interviews. I saw this old interview where he was speaking a different language. I'm not sure what it's called. I believe he's Danish. Correct me if I'm wrong. Although I know he's Danish. I'm not sure what the language was called, but he was speaking the language that Danish people speak, and you can tell by his accent, like he has like a different accent, and it's crazy to even hear to compare that accent to Bjergsen now. So as you can see, he has accustomed to North America. He's well accustomed. He stood on TSM. Of course, he probably does get homesick, misses his family, but regardless, he still plays for a North American team, TSM, and he's done so for many years already. About half of his career is with TSM already. So that's why I would make the argument that he's half an import slot. So half EU, half NA. Raised in EU, but accustomed to NA currently. With he is the outlier that makes me believe that TSM has lost their North American meaning. They are not a North American team. If anything, I would argue that they are more of an EU team. The bot laners, EU, and Bjergsen ultimately from EU. With that being said, TSM has lost their North American meaning. I actually was a TSM fan. I'm a big Bjergsen fan, by the way. I love the mid lane role. And basically, I liked TSM. They were basically in a full North American roster with the Biofrost, Doublelift, Hanser, and Spencer Garrett. Oh, well, not Spencer Garrett, I'm sorry. He was an import as well. Although, to me, that roster was 1.5, being Spencer Garrett and then Bjergsen's half. Regardless, still pretty NA dominant in that roster, which is why I did like the roster. I actually like most rosters. I'm more of a player fan. Although TSM was a team that I was rooting for at Worlds in 2017 and 2016 actually. Aside from that, TSM has lost its North American meaning. It's not a North American team anymore. Only 2 of its players are full North American. So you could say that it's half EU, half North American. And if you can understand my logic, Bjergsen is half EU, half NA. So with that, we have a TSM roster that is basically just EU imports, which I find kind of strange that they didn't import any Koreans. But I'm guessing TSM wants to have an English-speaking roster. They don't want to have to deal with communication issues with Korean import slots. Aside from that, I think you can make the argument that TSM is not exactly a North American roster. And it makes me wonder if fans are even going to stay loyal to this roster because of all the EU imports. And yeah, I've seen the people bag on North America because of all the EU imports that we have. You know, North America and EU are rivaled with each other. And essentially, it doesn't upset me as much. Although, when I look at this roster, I don't see it as an NA roster because they have 3 people from EU. And that's about the end of the discussion. Please like and subscribe, or tell me what I can do better in these videos. Other than that, I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.